Why did the Saxons come to the southeast of Britain? Well, it's a really good question, it's really worth exploring, but unfortunately it is extremely difficult to answer exhaustively, concisely, and accurately, so I'm going to do my best, but if I leave anything out or if I'm too long-winded, then I do apologize. So the Roman Empire takes control over at least the majority of the southern portion of the island of Great Britain, starting it by the end of the 1st century, and for several centuries they do hold on to the island of Great Britain. In the 4th century, they start relocating soldiers from around the island of Great Britain, primarily the south of Great Britain, and they move them over to other parts of the empire like the Balkans in order to help hold on to other parts of the empire, which seems like a pretty logical decision. If you have to move troops out of any part of the empire, you would want to go with your island province first because it's going to be easier to defend with fewer troops. However, throughout that century, there are so many continuous raids by these various groups of Germanic tribes, who I'll refer to under the umbrella category of the Saxons, who come over from what's today northern Germany and southern Scandinavia. They are raiding the southeast of the island of Great Britain, and the Romans eventually are forced to build a series of forts called the Forts of the Saxon Shore. By the way, my new online friend, fellow history content creator Top Roman Facts, just barely put out a video where he's actually at Caister-on-Sea, which is one of these Saxon shore forts I'm talking about right now. So if you'd like to see what the remnants of one look like today, and if you're not following Top Roman Facts, you should be, go check out this video. Okay, and then in 403, the capital of Rome, which wasn't Rome at this time, it was actually Milan, gets sacked. And what happens is that they move the coin mint from Milan to Ravenna, and then they stop sending coinage to the island of Great Britain. So there's a huge economic collapse in Great Britain, and what happens is that in 409, the Britanno-Celtic population expels the Romans from the island. Now after this, you might think, yay, they got their independence, but what happens is that the Picts start to attack and raid all across Britanno-Celtic territory, and as well, the Irish and the Scottish are raiding and attacking across Britanno-Celtic territory and beginning their migration into the island of Great Britain from Hibernia. Yeah, the Scots are Irish, by the way. Like, originally the Scots were a tribe of Irish. So Bede suggests, and many modern historians think that it is entirely plausible, that the Britanno-Celts then reached out to some Saxons and said, hey, can you come and help us with these various groups of barbarians that we're fighting against? So that could have been the reason why the Saxons came over and started taking territory in the southeast of Britain. They might have been granted it by some Britanno-Celts as payment for helping them fight off the people that were raiding them. Or it might just simply be that the Saxons caught wind that the Britanno-Celts had expelled the Romans and said to themselves, hey, let's go take some territory. Unfortunately, this period of history is shrouded in mystery because the written record disappears from the island of Great Britain from the 5th century until the 6th. Anyway, I tried my best to be brief, accurate, and exhaustive. I have not been exhaustive or brief, but I have been pretty accurate. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Beast. Like and follow for more.